Hello and welcome to the Art of Karo. In this video I'm going to be making a camera bag for the camera I'm currently filming on. But before that I just want to say, you might see now that I look a little bit of a mess. I just had a shower and I'm just exhausted. And I just figured I just have to film this so I can get up at least one video. I have been filming a lot doing the project I do to keep myself sane. So I have a lot of material, but I haven't the energy to edit. So as soon as I can get onto that, I will have a lot more videos up. But so far I just don't have the energy for it, and I'm really sad about it. And I also don't have the energy to film reveals or intros and outros, or at least not really good ones, because my mind wanders off. So it's been a bit of a slump with that as well. So as soon as I get a bit more of a sustained energy level, I want to work a bit more on the videos, but at least I'm going to get this video up. You also won't be able to see the camera together with the bag, because I need to film with the camera and I don't have the energy to set up my Canon for filming right now. So I have a Sony Handycam CX625, and that's what I film my videos on. And I wanted to wear it out to some adventures I was going to have with my family, and I don't want to wear a lot of bags that have straps over my shoulders. Or when I have backpacks and stuff like that, I want to minimize the weight, because I have migraines and neck issues and a jaw issue. So if I can put the weight around my hips instead, that's great. So with my Canon, my dad loaned me a thingamajig you can attach to your belt, and that was great because that weighs a lot. But for my Handycam, I made this bag, and I made it so it's waterproof and impact proof as best as I could anyway, and it snaps onto the belt, so I can have it at my hips, or if I want to I can have it at the back over my butt, and that will keep weight off of my shoulders, because I usually have to bring a backpack because I have stuff that makes life easier that I need to bring with me. So that this was great when we were to the zoo and walked like the entire day, and I would have been really achy at the end of it if I hadn't had this and new shoes, but that's another issue. I'm gonna show you how it looks. I made it in two portions. This is the outer portion, and I went with a fantasy theme, and then I have an insert where the camera go in, which is water and impact proof. And I did this so I can make other bags that match other outfits if I want to, or maybe if I want to do something else, or maybe if I want to put something other than my camera in the bag. Yeah, the insert is just put in the outside bag, and then you have the... yeah. So I'm gonna go into the video and show you what I did, and then I'm going to do a reveal. And hopefully this will be up sooner rather than later. Yeah, let's get started. So this box represents my camera in the video. I have this padding and then some different cool fabrics, and then I also have this, it's a sheet that's meant to go on the bed, so it protects the mattress from moisture. I use that to waterproof this, and then I made a pattern, cut out some of that padding, and then I'm cutting out my pattern out of my fashion fabric, and I got this cool How to Train Your Dragon fabric that I used for that. Then I'm also cutting it out of the waterproof fabric, and then I'm marking on my waterproof fabric that where I need to place my padding. Making sure I have everything in the correct place, and then I am gluing my padding to the fabric using a textile glue, just to keep everything in place. I don't think the glue is doing a lot here, but it just keep it in place when I'm working. And then I'm gluing the other fabric to the other side, my fashion fabric. And I cut 2 pieces of this, one for the outside and one for inside. This is the inside fabric, I believe. And then I'm using these sewing clips to clip the fabric together. And then I'm sewing around my padding pieces. Yeah. This is my sister's sewing machine. I had to retire mine. It doesn't work anymore. So my mom actually got me a new one, so I'm still learning that, and that was really nice of her. She had a colleague who wanted to get rid of her sewing machine, so we got it for a really good price, and I'm super happy. I sewed all the padding down, and then I'm clipping together the edges of my pieces, just forming it into a boxy shape, stitching that. It's like a plastic flannel fabric, sort of, this waterproof sheet thing. The stitch lines will be points where moisture can get in, but since I have an outer bag as well, it will minimize it. It won't be like 100% waterproof, but it will be rainproof, which is what I wanted. And sort of, if there is a leakage, if I have it in my backpack and together with a flask or something, a bottle or something, it won't be at a super big risk. So keep sewing the edges together in whatever way made sense at the time. I was working with a time crunch, so I don't remember a lot of what I did. I just went for it. Then I'm stay stitching around the edges just to keep everything in place when I bagline it. And it was kind of hard working with all this bulk. Then I'm trimming off the seam allowance, testing with my camera stand-in. Then I'm stitching together the outer layer, and it's just the same pattern as I made for the other one. My pattern could have done with some more work, but I was running out of time, so it had to be what it was. Sometimes you just have to do it and work with what you got, because otherwise it won't get done, or it won't be done for what you intend to use it for. So it's better to have something usable than something 100% perfect. Then I'm pinning together my pieces with the right sides together, and I'm gonna leave a gap in the front so I can pull it all right sides out, or yeah, so it's the right way out later on. And then I'm stitching all the way around except for my gap. And then I am trimming off my seam allowance to reduce bulk. And then I'm clipping into the corners and stuff like that. And where I have the lid, I made a couple of small clips there. And then I'm turning out everything the right way around and pushing the inside in, and then I'm stitching up that gap I left. My filming for this is not my best work. I was stressed, as I said. But I really love this fabric. I love How to Train Your Dragon. Except for the one movie that this is from, it's not my favorite. I like the first one best, and I really like the show. I like that it shows him sort of growing up. Yeah. Then I'm stitching down the lid to the back portion of the bag. And then I'm using these clips to pin together the outside portion of the bag, and these are made with a separate lid, or this is made with separate lid, and I'm pinning together for that. And then this is the lining, and I had this skull and rose fabric. I used stuff that I had small pieces left of for this. Yeah, and then I'm stitching together my pieces. It's a lot of repeating the same steps, but with different fabric. This faux leather fabric, it's it was interesting to sew in. The machine didn't have any problem with it, but I could feel how different it was, and I didn't really want to use my nice scissors on it because I wasn't sure how that would work. Yeah, and I'm just pressing out my seams here to make it lay in the way I want it to lay. I didn't dare to put this under a iron, so it's the best I could do. And then I'm pinning more sewing, more trimming the seam allowances. Yeah, so I had the lining finished in the final form, but for the outer fabric it was a bit different. After I had sewed together the sides to the bottom and the sides of the lid to the top, I wanted to put some straps on the bag, and I had to do that before everything was fully constructed. So here I'm doing some markings to know where the straps are going to go, and just making sure everything is in the correct place later on. And I'm going to attach these straps using rivets. So I've done markings for those, and then I'm figuring out where everything is supposed to go. And then I realized I was the wrong way up because the straps are going to go under the bottom of the bag and up over the top. So I have to make sure everything is the right way up when I'm doing it. Then I'm starting to hammer in all the rivets. And it took all the rivets I had, which was kind of sad because I had bought them for another project, but this one was more urgent, so yeah. The straps was also for the other project, so that happens sometimes. You have to use your resources properly. So the other one wasn't very urgent. I'm doing some more marking and hammering. I didn't enjoy the sound of the hammering, but it was sort of satisfying putting in all the rivets. But I got really tired in my arm afterwards. I had to hit the tool for the rivets pretty hard actually, and I hit my thumb a couple of times, which wasn't very fun. I had to use a needle to get out the scraps of the fabric that had ended up in the tool. As you can see, I attached a sort of oh, what's it called? You know, the thing you use usually in backpacks. If you have a backpack that sort of attaches in the front. I don't know what that kind of closure is called in English, so if anyone knows, please leave it in the comments for me, so I can learn something new. I don't even really know what it's called in Sweden, so yeah. And then I'm gonna put rivets in the top portion of the bag, the lid, and it was kind of difficult to attach them this way, but I really loved the result, so yeah, I got it to work in the end. It was the sewing afterward that was really tricky. And I had to constantly remember the seam allowance so I didn't put my markings in the wrong place. Yeah, so this is repeated on the other side. And then after I've done that, I also put some rivets at the front. I would have loved to have 2 more rivets so I can could put a pair in the back of the lid as well, but this was all I had, so I had to work with that and put those where they were most needed. And then I had these cool snap closures, and I put them on. They had this thing that you folded over on the back. I very carefully hammered it on just to keep everything nice and tight in the back. And I made a couple of slits to put in those fold thingies. Then I'm stitching together the rest of it, and I have to make very sure I don't actually sew over pieces that aren't meant to be attached now when everything is connected by these straps. And I also have had a very small amount of this band or whatever you can call it, so I couldn't do another method to make it easier to attach it together. In another way I had an idea for, I didn't have enough of the bands to do that, so I went with this. And I really love that it looks sort of like a treasure chest, because I was listening to The Color of Magic while I was doing this, so I was really inspired by the luggage. I'm actually working on another luggage inspired project, so hopefully I will be able to put that up soon. Yeah, then I'm attaching the lining to the outer bags, and I'm leaving gaps where it's supposed to be pulled through. And this was really really tricky for me. And then I'm pulling everything the right way around, making sure to keep everything in the right place, and doing the same for the lid. And I really liked how this faux leather and the fabric look together. I think they match pretty well, and it sort of gives a pirate theme to everything, which I enjoyed. I'm putting snaps at the edges here to be able to top stitch it, and just top stitch over the opening so I don't have to hand stitch it, and it will also keep the edges around the bag nice and neat. Top stitching that. I had some issues with it, but I got it to work properly. I couldn't figure out what made it so hard, but yeah. So stop stitching all the way around, and then I'm putting my insert into my outer bag, and it fits really nice, which made me so happy. And then I'm gonna attach tops of my snap closures, and I just have to mark where it's supposed to be cut off, and then I'm putting on this top portion. It just slides on the band, and then I make a hole where the rivet is supposed to go, and then I'm putting a little rivet into it, and it was so easy to push together, so I just use some pliers to do that. And then I realized that maybe it's good to just give it a little bit of a bang with the hammer, so I did that as well. Then I put some fabric glue under these other portions, because I realized they wanted to slide out from under the closure thing, so just to secure it a bit, just a bit of fabric glue, and it worked perfectly. And this is the final result. and that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more pictures and stuff like that, leave some love in the comments, just to cheer me up enough to get some footage and stuff like that going. It helps me if I know you people actually want to watch it. And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more of my videos in the future, you may want to subscribe and hit the notification bell. May the stars shine upon your faces and have a glorious day. Thank you and goodbye for now.